Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's episode of Show Me the Market. Now today we're in Parklands and we're looking at Motomoto Africa, which is an ICT, safety and security company. Now funny thing, this place was actually a fast food restaurant before it was transformed to what it is now. So I'll be meeting the managing director in just a moment and we'll talk about how his journey was. Let's go. Alright, I'm here with the managing director of Motomoto Africa. His name is Shahid Yakub and he is a well-known businessman. He's actually received awards such as the Founder of the Year Award under 30 and also has been recognized as one of the 100 most influential Muslims in Kenya under business. Assalamu alaikum, Shahid.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shahid, I'm interested in your journey as an entrepreneur because I know you started Motomoto as just a small fast food restaurant and now you have this whole huge company. What are some of the services you're now currently offering?
I did not start the restaurant. I took over from my father the restaurant. The conception of Motomoto Africa started prior to 2015 when we actually launched it. It started approximately 3 years prior to 2015 and we basically started off as freelance suppliers of IT accessories. So what we would do is myself and one of my brothers, we would go to town to some of these shops and supply them cables and accessories in IT. And that's where the build-up actually started for us to now open a company, start importing, and we have reached where we can now supply to the market.
Okay.
So from accessories, we are now supplying IT equipments. We are actually supplying solutions now.
What do you mean by solutions?
One of the main policies of Motomoto Africa Limited, and the reason why alhamdulillah we have reached this far, is that we are not a product-based company, we are a solution-based company. So even if we are selling you a product, we want to sell you a solution. So if you need a computer, majority of the companies and shops and everything, they will sell you a product, but we will sell you a solution. You want a computer or you want a laptop, what are you using it for? Is it for studies? Is it for business? If it's for studies, what course are you doing? There are certain softwares that are used in certain courses or certain softwares that are used for businesses. So based on knowing what you're going to use it for, we will offer you a product that is going to solve that problem that you want.
So are you like experts in electronics and IT, or do you acquire labor for that?
We have built the expertise within ourselves.
So self-taught?
Through time and experience.
Alright,
Yeah.
alright. So why did you select Parklands to be the location of the office? Because I'm assuming most people go to town to look for electronics.
Okay, so now we'll go back to history. Where we are sitting right now, for 15 years was the Motomoto Fish and Chips.
The restaurant?
This was the restaurant.
Okay.
It is after that is when we retained the name of Motomoto and the premises, we changed the line of business.
So going back to 2012 when you were having the concept, what was your idea then? Just having IT, you know, like dealing with electronics and selling them, or you already had the bigger picture and you started building it slow? I'd like to know that process.
Okay, so the process, the master plan rather, is inshallah to have a group of companies dealing in different spectrums, different industries, but retaining the principle of providing a solution. So if it is IT and ICT, alhamdulillah, we have now, confidently we can say that we are now 90% providing 90% solutions in the IT and ICT industry.
This is in Kenya, or?
You can say East Africa.
All right.
And we then, in 2017, we then branched out slightly into safety and security, which is now my specialty, or rather my main interest in is safety and security. and now we can confidently say that we are able to offer safety and security solutions.
All right. What's in the safety and security aspect?
So generally, again, we come back to the same principle of it being a product-based or a solution-based. So product-based companies will sell you a product. You want a CCTV camera, you'll be given a CCTV camera. You want a padlock, you'll be sold a padlock. You want an alarm system, you'll be sold alarm system. What we do is we do needs and risk assessment. So we will actually want to know from the client, why is it that you want a CCTV camera? Is it that you're having, if it is a company, are you having theft from outside? Are you having break-ins, or are you having theft from inside? Based on that is where now we actually offer solutions.
So where do you get the products, the electronics specifically? Is it like a pool of sources?
Yes, it's a pool of sources. We can't limit ourselves to just one particular product. So what we have done is on a particular product, we have at least 3 to 5 different suppliers. So we understand that our clients are not just the niche market or the lower end market. What we are trying to do is provide solutions, product-based solutions, to the whole market. So if someone walks in here and wants a CCTV camera, if it is a big multinational company, we will still be able to serve them based on their needs and their capacity. And if it is just any normal person who wants 2-3 cameras for their house, middle income earning person, we can still serve them, and everyone will be satisfied.
Okay. So there's this notion that sometimes it's easy for you to get swindled or get products that are substandard. So how do you ensure that your products that you get are like high quality?
So what we have done is we have tried our level best to actually partner with the suppliers, and we have selected suppliers. They may not be necessarily be the most famous or well-known suppliers or brands rather, but we have tried partnering, and we have tried to our best of knowledge and experience to scrutineer those products. So we normally test those products before we launch it into the market.
All right. This electronics business, ICT, IT, it's a very saturated market. Like I was saying, walking through town, a whole avenue is just electronics. So how do you stay ahead of such competition?
In the market, there's distributors, there's wholesalers, there's retailers, and then there's us. So what differentiates between us and the saturated market is that we provide solutions. We don't just sell you a product. So whether it's our corporate clients or individual clients, a lot of our clients who have walked in here are new clients, especially the new clients, have come in through either a referral or they've heard from somewhere that if you go to Motomoto Africa, you'll be served well. So they come in with a certain product and they say, I bought this from town, I bought this from XYZ place, and we're having this issue. So what we do is when we sell you a product, we actually give you that back-end support. That whenever you have an issue, you can actually step in here and we will try and help you to the best of the ability within the limitations of the warranty and guarantee, and maybe sometimes we even try and take that step a bit further. We go out of our way to help our clients, because maintaining the loyalty of a client is more important to us than the little of loss that we make.
You also have your branch in safety and security. Is it something that you personally are interested in?
Yes, so safety and security has been my personal interest, and that is what made us branch out. Initially we wanted to start Motomoto Africa as a safety and security company, but there was that debate that we don't have that much expertise. I don't have that much expertise in the industry, and because I had already done the IT part on freelance, so the expertise built up was good enough to run the company as I build my expertise in the safety and security. So what I needed was to buy time and the company to continue running as I build my expertise in safety and security.
Okay, sounds like you're about to ditch the IT business.
No, not really. It's not about ditching the IT business. It's just that the IT business is now self-sustaining, you would say. I mean, yeah, self-sustaining. So the process of purchasing to stocking to inventory keeping to maintenance to sales, everything, the whole process is now complete within the company. We have that SOP that from the purchasing to the end client, that whole process is complete. So it is self-sustaining. Anyone who comes in new into the IT department has a document that shows that this are our suppliers, this is the process of stocking, this is the process of selling. That's how it is.
All right. Do you consider yourself a successful entrepreneur?
Not yet.
Not really?
Yeah, I consider myself maybe 1% of what I actually dreamed of myself.
Okay.
So the plans, the goals, and the dreams are big. The vision is huge, and inshallah, it is Allah to make it successful.
All right, we'll talk about your vision, but first, let's take a short break here and Show Me the Market, and when we return, it's the same conversation. Welcome back to Show Me the Market. My name is Sumaya Hussein. I'm here in Parklands at Motomoto Africa offices, and I'm speaking to Shahid Yakub, the managing director of the company. Now, before we took a break, we were talking about expansion of the company, and I saw that around 2020, during the COVID time, you also started producing medical equipment like PPEs. So what did it take to jump into that niche, for lack of a better word?
Last year when COVID hit, just like many of the other companies and businesses, we also got that scare that fine, business is going to come to standstill. And this is mainly because that when COVID came, until now, there are a lot of unknowns about COVID. So we didn't know how long it's going to last, we didn't know how it's going to affect the businesses, we didn't know what's going to happen. The only thing we saw in Kenya is because COVID initially hit China and Europe first, and we saw empty streets in those countries. So we looked at it that lockdown is going to come in, we'll have to close down our shops, we'll have to close down our businesses. And so let's understand a little bit about COVID is that as much as it is a medical issue, the precautionary measures of COVID are safety issues. It's more to do with safety, and that's where our speciality comes in. So a lot of people got to know that there's something known as a PPE, which is a personal protective equipment. But we as safety professionals, we knew about PPEs way before COVID came in. And so it was just a question of putting our heads together, putting our resources together, partnering with a few people here and there, and start the production of PPEs for this particular issue.
Were the medics and the hospitals receptive of the PPEs?
Yes, very much receptive. As a matter of fact, one of the associations that I am a member with, which is the Protective and Safety Association of Kenya, PROSAC, they got together to form a consortium in the private security industry, and we started off training people on safety and security of COVID. So we actually brought down a syllabus on safety and security specifically for COVID times, and we went through the training with MOH. I'm actually a certified trainer of trainers on COVID safety and security. So we went through that process, and in that process is where now we were able to put our heads together with the quality control at MOH, a lot of doctors from MOH. We did a lot of consultation with them in cabs, with manufacturers who know quality of their materials, and we were able to come up with production of PPEs locally.
Shahid, you've also been associated with a lot of philanthropy work, including feeding a family program and activities like street iftar. Are those the CSR for Motomoto Africa?
The philanthropy work is something that has been embedded in us from since we were very young. The work that you see me doing right now, going to Mandera, Wajir, all these areas, my father used to do it with other associations and organizations. We just happened to be part of it and take over and maybe expand from where we were taught.
All right, so tell me about the Feed a Family program.
Okay, so the Feed a Family program, let me talk about myself, not the history of it. We started it off 10 years ago. Myself and my brother, who is also my mentor and teacher, and also my business partner, we started it off within ourselves as how much do I have, how much do you have? And in 2011 we started off with 30 families, feeding them. The package consisted of 1 packet of maize flour, bread and milk. And alhamdulillah, today this year we completed 10,000 families, 10,000 food hampers, which now consists of much bigger packages of almost 30 kilos.
All right, how would you say this charity work has built you as a person, not just like in business, but also in terms of religiously?
To be very honest, if you want to know, this is, you know, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He says, if you want to be content with what you have, if you want to appreciate what you have, you look at the person who doesn't have. So many a times we are humans, so many a times we complain, we see other people and we say, Ya Allah, how come him and why not me, and things like that. But when you see people who don't have anything, when I go to those areas, it actually makes me appreciate life. It allows me to come back with so much zeal, much more zeal, that I would want to do more this month so that I can give back. And that also includes the rest of our team members. So our team members, the Feed a Family team or the Majmuatul Khairat team, is a team of young people like myself. We were actually all students in madrasa, and we started it off 10 years ago and we're still continuing right now, the same team.
That's good, mashallah. So Shahid, is there anything within this journey, like your business journey with Motomoto and all, is there anything you would maybe do differently that would have Motomoto take a different direction?
There are a lot of I wish I would have done something, and a lot of people make that mistake as business people. This is my personal opinion, by the way, is that the moment you come up with I wish I would have done this, you're actually in the direction of failing your business. It's not about I wish I would have done, it's about I did something wrong, I learned from it and I do it differently. So I don't wish to change anything, because that's what actually shaped me and taught me, because the greatest teacher is experience.
So what was your greatest teaching? Like, what did you learn the hardest way?
Nothing comes easy.
Of course.
Nothing at all. See, when we closed Motomoto Fish and Chips, it was a running restaurant. We shut down for 3 months. This place was empty for 3 months. There was no income for 3 months. We were renovating the place and changing it to what it is right now. That was one of the hardest decisions that we had to make.
So how did the negotiation get you to, have all these industries?
Yes.
Were you doing partnerships?
So if I tell you that Motomoto Africa is doing IT, is doing ICT, is doing safety, is doing security, is doing green economy, is doing blue economy, is doing medical, a lot of people will say, okay, fine, this guy is a jack of all trades. Now, this is the misconception. We are not a jack of all trades. We are a master of all these trades. We became a master by virtue of partnership. So we were able to, through the skill set of negotiating, negotiate a partnership with the actual masters in this trade. So if you see the partners that we have, if you see the companies that we are associated with, are huge companies, internationally accredited, who are actual masters in that trade. And so we are, by virtue of that partnership, a master in that industry. A lot of people ask this question, is that one person has the money, another person has the skill set. the other person doesn't have the money. This is where you have seen a lot, especially now, a lot of shows, a lot of communities are coming up with different ways of bringing the skill and the money together. Like we personally did an entrepreneurship summit within our community, and this is what we tried bringing on the table. We tried bringing the youth on the table to put down their ideas on paper, and whether they know or they don't know, one person in that group was an investor. We mixed it up. Those ideas were put on paper. Someone has a different idea, this idea, that idea. Take them through the process of filtering those ideas to research the market, whether those ideas are actually viable or not, and then link them up with an investor. So there are a lot of people who have money. What they need to do is look at a partner, look at someone who has an idea, and what the person who has the idea needs to do is to look for someone who has the money. And that's what I did. We didn't have the money as such. We had so many ideas. So we partnered with companies that have the money to invest.
Right. So now where you are you looking at more partnerships to delve into other industries?
Yes, of course, there's no limit.
So what's your vision for Motomoto Africa?
So in 2017, I had an interview with the Asian Weekly magazine. And one of the questions was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? My answer was to be one of the leading IT and ICT safety and security supplier and solutions provider in East Africa. If you look at Motomoto Africa right now, by virtue of the partnerships and recognition we have received, we are not only a known brand in East Africa, but you can now say in Africa and slightly touching globally as a known brand.
What's in the green economy and blue economy solutions?
As we know that climate change is actually affecting our globe, our world, and the effect is actually increasing more than what it was predicted. What we are trying to do is bring in solutions in such a way that it doesn't really affect your day-to-day business. It doesn't really affect your day-to-day activities, but it actually reduces the effect of
climate change.
In the blue economy solution, there is a slight overlap with the blue economy and the green energy, whereby the blue economy is basically to do with water, anything to do with water. So in 2018, the first Blue Economy conference was held in Kenya, and it's actually a proud moment for me to say that Kenya was actually the initiator of this conference in conjunction with Canada. They were the co-sponsors. When I came to understand this, when I came to do a little bit of research on it, came to understand that when you look at the blue economy, water is an untapped market or a potential business opportunity that we haven't really understood. So simple things like water purification, we have a lot of wastage that goes. How do you reduce the wastage and bring it back, recycle it back into the market?
Shahid, you're a young entrepreneur, and you seem to have gotten it right when it comes to this. So any words of wisdom you'd give to other struggling entrepreneurs?
I will break it down into two things. First thing is that as an individual, whether it is an entrepreneur, whether it's a businessman, whether it is a school student, whether it is someone employed, personally what has really molded us as a family, this is something that we have inherited as a family, is two words. One is honesty and sincerity. So when my late grandfather, his last words were these two words, which he told to my father and my father told to us siblings, and we are continuously now spreading it to the world. Honesty and sincerity. So whatever you do, whatever it is, these two things are always going to give you success. If not immediately, but in the long run, 100% it will. Honesty and sincerity. So if you're working, work honestly. If you're doing your business, do it honestly. It doesn't make sense for you to make 2,000 shillings profit extra by cheating your customer, and then you lose a potential customer forever. Right now, in this COVID pandemic, a lot of people have suffered in their businesses, a lot of people have suffered in their careers, in their homes, they have suffered loss of lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all ease. May He guide us, and may we follow that guidance. Inshallah. Ameen. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you so much for your time, Shahid, and obviously your words of wisdom. I've learnt a lot from you today, and we've come to the end of Show Me the Market. Remember, guys, your belief system has to be up straight. You have to believe in yourself. Put Allah Azza wa Jal first in your business, and of course, have like-minded partnerships, and that should guarantee your success. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the program. My name is Sumaya Hussein. See you next week.